I'm so sorry. I can't do that. We're not stopping, ma'am. I'm questioning you and I'm asking you. We're not doing that.
Oh, fab.
Sonakshi ma'am, Women's Day is coming.
Yes,
So,
happy Women's Day.
yes, what is a woman empowerment according to what is your definition?
I think women are already empowered. They have it in them.
Yes.
They have it in them already. They just need to go for it and follow all their dreams. And I think women are just too strong in themselves. They just need to fight them.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And also congratulations for
Thank you.
Is one who needs no introduction. She is none other than Miss Sonakshi Sinha, known for her versatility and compelling portrayal on screen. A huge round of applause for her, please. Miss Sonakshi Sinha, a powerhouse of talent whose on-screen presence mesmerizes and her character resonates with depth, join us today to share her insight. I hand over the stage to Miss Swati Chopra, please.
Thank you so much. Hi guys, welcome everyone. It's always so good to be here and exciting to have all of you here with us today as we speak about championing women's stories in the world of streaming platforms. And I'm so glad that I have with me actor Sonakshi Sinha and Tanya Bami from Netflix. Thank you so much for being here, guys.
Our pleasure.
Okay, so before we go ahead and watch something really exciting, I'm going to take the first question to Tanya. Tanya, you know, we've seen such a significant shift when it comes to portrayal of women on screen, right? And I would like to think that Netflix has a huge part to play in it because we've seen some exciting stuff from y'all. If I had to mention a few, recently there's been Scoop, Love Stories, Delhi Crime, amongst many others, right? So when you build your slate, what is the kind of approach that you take keeping in mind these things?
First of all, good morning, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for being here to listen to this wonderful subject, great subject, I think, to talk about. I think, you know, the way we look at things is that it's a great privilege and a great responsibility to actually build out a slate of titles and voices that actually resonate far and wide across the furthest corners of the world. So we're very intentional about ensuring there's diversity, there is ample creativity, needless to say, and there is a mindfulness in the kind of subjects and, you know, voices that we sort of curate, the topics that we put through. And, you know, as they say, that when a woman stands for herself, she stands for all of womankind. So just with that thought, I think there are a lot of the titles that you mentioned, whether it's Scoop, whether it's Karina's Janeja, whether it is, you know, a happy, cheerful show like Mismatched. I think all of these are stories of women who literally had no other choice. And that's definitely a compelling story to tell and a compelling story to experience. And of course, now we are looking to bring, you know, Hira Mandi, the big experience, which is a story of 6 powerful female characters, 6 powerful such stories to tell. And, you know, with SLB really putting this entire experience, this OTT experience, as I'd like to call it, together, I think we can't wait for the world to sample it. So I think what the streaming medium has also done is actually taken subjects like female-forward stories and made them central and commercial. And it's no longer sort of relegated to a audience type. You know, so with the success of stories like Scoop or Hira Mandi being made the magnum opus that it is, I think these are stories and subjects and conversations that become absolutely central. And I think that's the way we're approaching this subject.
And it's such an exciting time for all of us to be a part of this change, right? So before we go ahead and talk some more on this panel, I would like for all of you to watch as what is being hailed as one of the most sought-after series of 2024. So before we take this ahead, can I please request you all to play the first look of Hira Mandi? can we please hear it for Hira Mandi? That was really spectacular. I have to say, everyone I speak to about Hira Mandi, and if I ask them what's the one series you're really looking forward to, Hira Mandi is right on top. So big congratulations for creating, I think, all the correct buzz and excitement around Hira Mandi. Guys, can we please hear it once again for Hira Mandi? Tanya, before I take my next question to Sonakshi, I think we all sitting here would love to know about this collaboration with someone like Sanjay Leela Bhansali and Netflix.
Well, what can I say? We found home with each other, and it's a collaboration that we are so proud of, so excited about, and I think the potential for all of us, you know, as Indians, as people associated with content and stories, the potential is so immense that we're almost sort of quaking with excitement, if I may, be slightly melodramatic after that teaser. You know, we're really looking forward to bring it to everybody, and pretty much like this is India's gift to the world. That's the way we're looking at it. It is the power of Netflix with the absolute, you know, bespoke creation of SLB. Every story that he tells is so unique, so distinct. But I think in this one is a story that he held close, we all know, for many, many years, 13 plus years. And I think it is a show that he wasn't, you know, convinced that can be a film. It is a world that needed a deeper immersion, and therefore the series format fits it beautifully. And I think he's tasted blood, if I may speak on his behalf. He's enjoyed the process so much that he was, I mean, just sharing a short anecdote, he was supposed to direct only the first episode, but I think he's directed every single frame, and Sonakshi would speak to that better than me. He's been immersed neck deep. Of course, he has a wonderful team who backs him and puts the magic together. But in terms of, you know, just the way, the format, the story, the partnership between the two companies has come together, it's pretty much been seamless. He's been immersed in it for the last 2 years, and we're, you know, ready and raring to go.
We're also waiting for it, and we're so glad that Sonakshi, you're a part of this gift to the world, right? Sonakshi, Hira Mandi promises to bring forth narratives and women's stories about really resilient and strong women, and you're a big part of it, right? So when you look at this shift about portrayal of women on screen, and what kind of a role do you think an actor like yourself has to play in driving this shift?
I think for me, it's the best time to be an actor today, a female actor today in the industry. And there's so many more openings now with the advent of OTT coming in, you know, doing the kind of work that they're doing, putting out the content that they're putting. More roles are being written for strong female characters, and I'm so happy to be a part of that. With this also, I think Sanjay sir and me have been trying to collaborate for many years now, and I'm so glad that it happened on Hira Mandi, because he's the kind of director who really, how do I say this? The way he portrays his women on screen, I think nobody else is able to do that. And he's just got a very different vision for it. In spite of it being, you know, all these magnum opuses that he's made, really big budgets, all of that, he really takes good care of how all his female characters are portrayed on screen. And that is something that I really appreciate about him. In Hira Mandi, we have 6 different women with 6 different stories to tell, and each one has been given the kind of importance that every actor craves for, the kind of respect that every actor craves for from their director. So to be a part of something like this, it's been tremendous, to say the least. And I'm really glad that, you know, this is his first OTT outing, because nothing about Sanjay Leela Bhansali is not OTT. And the fact that, you know, we're going global with Netflix, being able to reach out to so many people, this is something that everybody should be able to watch. And I'm so glad to be a part of it.
So what was it like working with, you know, being on the sets with 6 women? What was that like for you?
It was fantastic. I think we should have more women in every film. It was just way smoother as opposed to what people would think, or, you know, by what they've been told, women don't get along. I think here we're just women who are helping each other up and being there for each other, being good co-actors to each other, supporting each other, and it was the best kind of environment to be on a set like that. And the kind of women that are in this show, they're all wonderful actors. You only learn from them, you only grow with them. So it was a beautiful experience, actually.
The sets, I'm sure, felt very empowering as well. Yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, Sanjay sir's team is his backbone, and I can tell you that majority of them are women. So it was just the girls were running the world, and it was fantastic to be a part of it.
Yeah, I'm so glad. We can't wait to watch what you guys have made. Tanya, coming back to you, you know, Sanjay Leela Bhansali is known for his portrayal of strong female characters, and you know, we've seen that film after film. What are the kind of factors that influences Netflix's decision to back such an ambitious project like Hiramandi?
I think first and foremost, it is really about what is it from, you know, the deep coffers of Indian culture, Indian storytelling. What are the stories that we actually want to put out there for our audiences? And then if our audiences love it, like we always say, it has to work in India for it to work globally, right? We all know the power of each of Mr. Bansali's films. You know, they've all left like a legacy behind them. They're all points of references. They're cultural sort of high points. He captures the zeitgeist every time he sort of presents a story, and what a memorable experience it always is. And I think that's exactly sort of ties in completely with the ethos of what we try to do at Netflix. I mean, if every night is to be a Netflix night, I think what we want to leave behind with every one of our members, every one of our audience, is experiences that they talk about, and experiences that sort of stay with them, whether it's in the form of a film, whether it's in the form of a series, an unscripted documentary, reality show. I think it's a diverse experience, but when it comes from an auteur like Mr. Bansali, I think the experience lasts much longer.
Sector, but even in things like learning and development, where corporates want to launch training videos for employees can use Gen AI, or even reaching out to customers, where the CEO of a bank says, congratulations for opening a fixed deposit of 1 lakh rupees with his own.
Organizers of FICCI to provide this opportunity to me. So Feltiv, to start with, I say that the Feltiv journey started last year, and the personal experience
With me.
Nice.
I prefer it that way, actually, because it can really consume you. And I, as a person, some people do that and it works for them. It helps them, it grows them. But for me, I prefer to keep it very, very, I like to compartmentalize.
I think it's a great thing. We all can learn from you in
We
that
can
case.
learn. I was just going to say we should all learn.
It's the switch. Switch on, switch off.
Maybe you can tell me later how you're going to do this, switch on and off. You know, another question for the two of you. When you look at female filmmakers, actors, producers, you know, making a foray into the industry today, when there's been such a shift, right, and I think a very, very welcome change, if you had to kind of give them, say, 3 top advice, or say even 1, what would that be?
From a female filmmaker?
Yes, for either an actor, or filmmaker, or a producer, any of them, if you had to say something to them as they navigate through this journey. Yeah.
I think all I would say is go for it. A lot of women have been conditioned and, you know, sort of been trained to doubt themselves for a very, very long time, and they just need that one push where somebody tells them, you know what, go for it, I'm behind you, I will back you, and you have nothing to worry about. I think that first step is very, very important. So for me as a girl also, I would just encourage every other woman who wants to do whatever it is in life that she wants to do, to just go for it. Yeah.
You know, I don't think I'm anyone to give anyone advice, but I would just say that don't hold back. You know, we find ourselves in many rooms where you're the only female voice, but I think it's an important voice. It's an important point of view. It's an important perspective. So I think it's important that we don't hold back. And I would say the other thing, since we've touched upon it, both of us twice over, I think it's the sense of community. You know, women for women, I would say that's more important than anything else. And the perception of, you know, when women work together or when women are together, I think those are populated by, I think, dated pop culture, I will say. So I think fostering a sense of community and really standing for each other is top of mind for me.
And I really do hope that we do get to see more women in our workplaces when, because it's just, like I've done 2 projects now with, which were helmed by female directors. One was Khandani Shafakhana and one is Dahad. And I kid you not, those have been one of the best experiences of my life, of my career, and it's just such a smoother set when it's run by a woman. So I would really encourage more women to get into it.
Yeah. I think we're already seeing that shift. I think women are really coming forth more confident when it comes to this industry as opposed to what we saw even 5 years ago. I mean, that's something that I see around me. Sonakshi, before we go, it's just a question that popped into my head and I think I have to ask you before you leave. Do you remember the day you got the call for being a part of Hira Mandi? Do you remember what you were doing? Do you remember what your reaction was? And what is it that you felt? Please leave us with this.
Oh, this is a funny story. So Sanjay sir and me, like I said, we were trying to collaborate on stuff even before Hira Mandi. He did produce a film of mine which was called Rowdy Rathod, very, very long back. And ever since then, and he's been very, very fond of me. Like every time I meet him, he's always like so encouraging. He's always praising me. And sometimes it's like, I don't know where to look. Like, I'm like, oh my God, is this happening? But he's been very, very fond of me. And so we tried and didn't work out. He went ahead, he did his stuff. I was doing my work. But we were always in touch over the period of years. So every time I went to his office, I would sit with him, we would chat over a cup of coffee, and I would leave and cut to, he started his project, I'm doing something else, he's doing something else. So I got a call for Hira Mandi, Sanjay sir wants to meet you. So I said, okay, great, I'll be there. I live very close to his office. I landed up, I sat with him, he sat down, he came into the room, I sat down and I was chilling there with, Prerna was there. And we were talking and then he came, I said, sir, every time you call me to your office, you give me coffee and I leave. This time, I'm not having coffee with you, I'm going to have tea.
Change the narrative.
Yeah. I've had tea with him. We've had the same sort of conversation we always used to have. I've gone home and I'm in Hira Mandi. So tea is the answer, guys, not coffee.
Thank you so much for sharing that with us, Sonakshi. And I want to say all the best for Hira Mandi. It looks every bit delicious, spectacular, and stunning. Thank you so much for talking to me, and thank you, you guys.
And thank
you
you,
here
everybody.
once for Hira Mandi. Thank you.
Thank you for such a dynamic conversation. Your vibrant insights truly illuminated the conversations, leading us inspired and enriched. Our heartfelt wishes go to Hira Mandi, and we are extremely excited. Thank you once again for your presence, Sonakshi. It added an extra layer of significance to our program. Thank you, Tanya, for delivering such an exciting thing. Thank you, Swati, for such a smooth and engaging discussion on Hira Mandi. My compliments to all of you for recognizing the contribution and strength of women whose diverse experience share our world every day. Thank you.